Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment. So I'm using a new microphone tonight. Okay, it should be a better microphone tonight. I realize now that I'm in this new apartment and I have these large ceilings now that my voice was kind of getting some reverb action, so that should be solved now. Welcome, as it is time to discuss the 2020 NFL Draft, the first round of the 2020 NFL Draft. And things started off a little bit lame. Okay, let's be honest. It wasn't the most exciting first round ever in terms of the first 10 picks. But around 11, 12, 13, 14, things got very interesting indeed. Let me check the audio real quick, make sure it sounds good. And it does. Good, the microphone's working well. The first 10 picks, we're going to talk about them quickly, briefly. There's really not much to discuss. We're going to discuss a little bit in terms of my thoughts on the players and what I'm really going to do. Okay, let me go ahead and announce it now. I am coming out with a new series. They're called the SFE 2020 Team Profiles. So a lot of you guys know about my 32 teams in 32 days series. But with me now having a full-time job, being out of college, that's something that I can no longer do. I can also no longer do draft recaps for each and every team. But what I can do, and this was a brilliant idea on my part, is I can combine the two into an off-season long team profile series. So the SFE team profiles, this is going to begin, I'm thinking May 1st. And in this series, I'm going to do draft recaps. I'm going to do free agency recap. I'm going to even begin to preview the 2020 season and give you an initial prediction. Now, these predictions will change a little bit when we get to August, but really from May to August, I'm going to be releasing team after team after team, one every 3 or 4 days. That works in my schedule. It'll be brilliant for me. I'll actually have time to do it instead of having to rush stuff. So with that said, just gonna give some brief initial thoughts on the first round on each pick. So let's start with the Cincinnati Bengals. They take Joe Burrow, and here's my stance on Joe Burrow. He was fantastic this season, but he has his limitations. So he's either A or B. You have to believe he's either A or B to me. Either he is truly the football savant that you saw on the football field, instead of being, in terms of being able to read the football field, having the field awareness, being a field general like a Tom Brady. You have to believe he's a Tom Brady light, where he may not have all the physical attributes. He may not have the strong arm. He may not have great mobility. He may not have great escapability. And he definitely displays some at LSU. You're not going to see much of that in the NFL. He does not have NFL escapability. Is he that much of a savant when it comes to the game? And he certainly was in college. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not betting on a rookie to come into Cincinnati and do that. Eventually, you're going to have to lean on those physical traits, at least early in your career. Later in your career, you can go full-on Tom Brady. You can go full-on Drew Brees. You don't need to worry about your physical traits. Early on, no. Patrick Mahomes leans on his arm strength. Deshaun Watson leans on his arm strength and his escapability. Russell Wilson leans on his arm strength and escapability. Mariota did to a certain extent, but he didn't do it enough. He couldn't do it enough, and that's why he struggled. That's why he went from being a beast at Oregon to struggling in the NFL. If they don't supply Joe Burrow with talent, you're going to look at him like you looked at Jared Goff this season and say, look, he's still a quarterback. He's still a starting quarterback, but he's certainly not a top 10 quarterback. That's my stance on Joe Burrow. It was a fantastic year. But when times got tough in LSU, and it was rare, I saw problems, and I also did not see him enough leading his wide receivers deep down the field. Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase having to stop, rise, get great balls for him, as opposed to a Tagovailoa, who I'm going to get to in a second. So I would not have taken him. I would have taken, if anyone, Tua. I would have took Tua, honestly, to be honest with you. Tua is my number one quarterback in this draft class. If he's healthy, and that's something that I don't have the medical reports, but if he's healthy, he's going to prove to be the number one quarterback in this quarterback class. With that, so we move on to the number 2 pick of this draft, and that was the Redskins taking Chase Young. This surprised nobody. This was a great pick for them. He's going to be a great defensive end for them. I mean, we've seen consistently guys at the top of the draft being selected, being great pass rushers, and everyone wants to say that Chase Young is the best pass rusher in the last 10 years, 25 years. Okay, slow your roll. We literally just saw Nick Bosa. We literally just saw Myles Garrett. We literally just saw Joey Bosa. If he's as good as any of those three, he's great. Okay, let's not say he's better than those three because those guys are pretty good. In fact, pretty great. All of them Hall of Famers probably. So if he can be that, and I think he will be, it's a great pick. Let's not say he's better than that. He could be. Let's not say that yet. Okay, number 3, the Detroit Lions take Jeff Okudah. And look, he's a great prospect. He showed you a lot of things. And I guess they had to make this pick. I just don't love taking cornerbacks very high in the draft, deservedly or not. I look at Marshawn Lattimore. I said in my mock draft, I said Marcus Lattimore. I always get them confused just because their names are so similar. But Marshawn Lattimore's been doing great for the Saints. He was picked at number 11. Jalen Ramsey did great for the Jaguars for a hop and a skip and a second. But, man, just these cornerbacks selected high, man. There's too many Vernon Grays. There's too many Justin Gilberts. Denzel Ward is good. Was he worth the 4th pick in the draft? These quarterbacks, they're good for 4 or 5 years. They change teams. They may stick with the team. They're no longer good anymore. I don't love taking quarterbacks high. Number 3, he's going to be good. Look, he's probably going to be great. But for how long will he be worth the 3rd pick? I don't know. But it's a good pick for the Lions. Number 4, the Giants surprised us a little bit. They take Andrew Thomas, the guard out of, I want to say, Georgia. They need an offensive lineman. They get an offensive lineman here. I don't love, and look, I'm seeing the typo as it scrolls across my screen now. Let me fix that. I don't love the idea of taking a right tackle with the 4th pick, but he's probably going to end up playing left tackle for them because with the current contract that Nate Solder has, 1, maybe 2 more years, he's probably going to be cut. They're not going to pay him $16 million for that last year. I highly doubt that for his 4-year contract. So he's probably going to play left tackle eventually, and then it'll be worth it. Number 5, the Dolphins take Tua Tagovailoa. And look, I'm all in on Tua Tagovailoa if he's healthy. He has the Russell Wilson to him. He has the Steve Young to him. This guy is creative with the football. He's a great thrower of the football. He's an intelligent mind. He is a good leader in the locker room. Great leadership. Great intangibles in terms of his character. This guy's been tested in high school. Tested. Went through the NFL elite with Trent Dilfer in high school. Went to Alabama. Beat out Jalen Hurts. Won the national title. Should have won another national title. Okay, I mean, this guy was a stud, proven, tested. You saw him trounce teams. You also saw him struggle against some teams. And you've seen Tua Tagovailoa at his worst. You've seen him unhealthy. You've seen him hobbled. You've seen him trying to make plays and making mistakes. And at his worst, he was still damn good. Joe Burrow at his worst, not so much. So that's why I'm so intrigued by Tua Tagovailoa. Versus LSU in the regular season this season. At his worst, hobbled, trying to make plays, trying to do a little bit too much, but at his worst, he still almost let it come back against LSU. At his worst, doing his absolute most, still making some dimes, some throws. Ooh, and I know he had Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy dropped some passes for him. Henry Ruggs dropped some passes for him. I'm all in on Tua Tagovailoa if he's healthy. Number 6, the Chargers take Justin Herbert. And I think Justin Herbert is like a Ryan Tannehill level quarterback. I do have him right next to Joe Burrow, to be honest with you. I think it just depends on the situation for both of them. Justin Herbert most certainly has better physical traits, whereas Joe Burrow right now reads the field much better. What type of coaching will Justin Herbert get? I'm not in love with the offensive staff in terms of the coaching staff in LA right now, but I am in love in terms of the personnel. They've lost Melvin Gordon, but they still have Keenan Allen. They still have Mike Williams. I almost said Wallace. They still have Mike Williams. And is Hunter Henry on the franchise tag? I think so. So Hunter Henry should be back. I think, correct me if I'm wrong on that. In fact, I'll do a quick Google search on that. So he has weapons right now in terms of to throw to. The offensive line is still most certainly suspect. But assuming they're able to, shore up the offensive line a little bit, I expect for Justin Herbert to find some success in LA for a while. It's going to be like a Ryan Tannehill situation, okay, where he's good, like he's a franchise quarterback. Is he definitively? I think that's what we're going to see for Justin Herbert, but I don't think he's going to be a bust. I don't think, but he definitely has some bustability chance for sure. You look at pick number 7. This didn't really surprise anyone as the Panthers took Derrick Brown. And by the way, I had 6 correct picks in my mock draft, and there were the 6 of the first 7 picks. Right, it was so predictable, at least to me, and at least to most people. I think most people had at least the first 5 picks, first 5 of the 7 picks correctly. I had the first 6 of the 7. So this really surprised no one. He's probably going to be a great defensive lineman for them. Good for the Panthers. Not really much to discuss there. The Cardinals surprised us a little bit. They take Isaiah Simmons, the linebacker out of Clemson. High upside here. I would have taken offensive lineman myself to help protect Kyler Murray, but they think they could get the ball out quickly this year. And I think that they can to a certain extent, but, still I would have taken an offensive lineman. Because, look, DeAndre Hopkins isn't the fastest guy in the world. Larry Fitzgerald most certainly is not, and Christian Kirk isn't. You need Kyler Murray to sit in the pocket and give him some time to throw the football. I know Kyler Murray's 20 yards behind the center waiting in the shotgun, but even then, he still needs some time to throw the football. Okay, they put him so far back behind the center, it's ridiculous sometimes. I would have took an offensive lineman, but I think Isaiah Simmons could end up being a great pick for them. Number 9, the Jaguars, they select C.J. Henderson out of Florida. They wanted a corner. They got a corner. I knew I should have mocked this, but I thought Isaiah Simmons was going to fall to them and they wouldn't be able to resist, so they get their corner here. Number 10, the Browns, they take Jedrick Wills, the offensive lineman out of Alabama, good, helping, I almost said Johnny Manziel, helping Baker Mayfield with his offensive line weaponry. That's what they needed. They needed protection, better protection for Baker Mayfield, and they get it here. This is where things get a little interesting. So the New York Jets, they take Mekhi Becton, the offensive lineman out of Louisville. So the Jets need an offensive lineman. They get one here. That's fine. Okay, I don't have a huge problem with this, but Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb on the board, didn't take him. Little surprising to me as I want to say Jerry Jeudy mocked here. No, actually I had CeeDee Lamb mocked here. Then things got weird as the Raiders, and I knew this. I think I even said it in my mock draft yesterday or 2 days ago. I knew the Raiders were going to take Henry Ruggs. I knew it. I knew it 100% because they can't sit there and do something rational. They can't sit there and take the best wide receiver on the board. Here's what the Raiders do. This is the brilliant Las Vegas Raiders strategy. You see that lion? Okay, they have, let's say, positions. Okay, that banner is cornerbacks. This banner is wide receivers. This banner is defensive linemen. They have their just all the cornerbacks listed, all the wide receivers listed, all the defensive linemen listed. Okay, and they just put on a blindfold. They grab a dart and they just throw, because they ended up with the 3rd ranked wide receiver today. They ended up with the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th ranked cornerback today. I mean, they're just firing dartboards. I mean, what are they doing? It doesn't make any sense to me. Now, Henry Ruggs is probably going to be good. Probably. He is a talented prospect. He was probably the 3rd best wide receiver prospect in this draft. But when you have proven commodities like Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb, to me, just take the safe pick, dog. I mean, last year, these people took Cleveland Farrell over Josh Allen. Nonsense. As Josh Allen gets 10.5 sacks. They are just overthinking themselves. They love to overthink. But you know what they did last year? They did take Josh Jacobs, who everyone agreed was the number 1 running back. And guess what? It worked out. The year before, they took Jonathan Abram out of nowhere, and it really hasn't worked out. They took Trayvon Mullen. Just take the good prospects. Stop just throwing darts. It's getting ridiculous in Oakland or Las Vegas, wherever they are. It's incredible what the Oakland Raiders are doing. So then, we move on to 13. Okay, so here we had a weird trade where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers moved up 1 pick. They moved up from the 14th pick to the 13th pick, and they take an offensive lineman in Tristan Wirfs, who I had going number 4 overall. You probably had going number 4 overall. But for some reason, he fell all the way down to 13. The Bucs sweep him up here, and some doubt starts to creep in. Maybe they were going to take CeeDee Lamb. Maybe they were going to take Jerry Jeudy. No, they sit and they take Tristan Wirfs. That's a great pick, and that offers more protection for Tom Brady. Fantastic. 14, the 49ers. They take defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw. And this is just odd to me. As the 49ers look, I like Deebo Samuel. I don't think he's a proven number 1 wide receiver in this league yet. He's still a bit limited. In fact, I would say, quite limited at this point in terms of being a number 1 wide receiver in this league. They still need more weaponry. They just lost Emmanuel Sanders in free agency. Kendrick Bourne is and Marcus Goodwin is no longer good. He struggled last year. They needed a wide receiver. Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb were sitting right there. And then when you consider what they do later at 25, when they trade up and take Brandon Aiyuk, makes no sense, okay? How are you going to say, I would rather take Brandon Aiyuk at 25 than take Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb at 14? If anyone can explain that to me, I'd love to hear it. Let me tell you what happened. They went into this draft and they said, we're getting Javon Kinlaw, period. They didn't allow themselves to be creative, to have some flexibility, to say, you know what, if Jeudy or Lamb are there, we need to take them. And then we'll figure out the defensive line later. First of all, you guys have selected 5 defensive linemen in the past 6 drafts. I mean, these people love taking defensive linemen. And there is no way, I'll guarantee that there is no way that Javon Kinlaw will be as good as DeForest Buckner. But Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb could have been, and you could have got your value back in this pick. Not going to get it now. So we move on to 15, where the Denver Broncos, they select Jerry Jeudy. They get a great wide receiver here, and you have to love this pick from to me if you're a Denver Bronco fan. The only thing that's holding up for the Denver Broncos is the quarterback position right now to me. Because you look at, and they're still young offensively, but you look at their offensive weaponry. Now you have Courtland Sutton, who really came on last year. People are still sleeping on Courtland Sutton. Noah Fant had a good rookie season, getting 500 receiving yards for a tight end. You look at Phillip Lindsay, who they still have. Oh, and Royce Freeman, a nice running back duo right there. They're getting more out of Garrett Bowles on the offensive line. What are you going to get out of Drew Lock? And now you add in Jerry Jeudy to the mix. Look, they got to go out and they got to go get Cam Newton. Just in case. You got to pull a Tennessee Titans move here. When we went out last year and traded for Ryan Tannehill, we started 2-4. We put in Tannehill. We made the playoffs. That same scenario could happen for the Denver Broncos. If you go into next year, let's say you start 2-4, pull out Drew Lock, put in Cam Newton, you can make the playoffs. There's 7 playoff teams. The Denver Broncos have a playoff team, okay, just in terms of talent. And it was borderline. It's borderline right there with the Colts, borderline right there with the Chargers, borderline right there with some other teams as well. But I think the Broncos have a playoff team now. Okay, if you look at the defense. They have Nick Chubb and Von Miller as the hell of a duo. They just traded for Gerald Casey. That's a playoff roster. It should be a 9-win roster at least. Should be. What is Drew Lock going to do at the quarterback position? And yeah, and someone in the chat just said it. They just signed Melvin Gordon. They need to make the playoffs this year. They need to get Cam Newton for insurance. If Drew Lock starts season poorly, sorry, you're out. We only spent a second-round pick on you anyway. Cam Newton, you're in. Okay, because the Denver Broncos should be a playoff team this upcoming season. Too much talent now to waste. And they're still young. They have to learn how to win offensively. But that's enough talent right there. They should get some stuff done. And then Vic Fangio should take care of stuff on the defensive side. Okay, then you look at 16, the Atlanta Falcons. They take cornerback A.J. Terrell. Bit of a reach. But, they needed this position. Really needed this position after they just lost Desmond Trufant in free agency to the Detroit Lions. That's been their best cornerback, and he hasn't even been on the field. Okay, so definitely needed a cornerback. They got one here. Did they get the best one available? Yeah, a lot of people like A.J. Terrell, so I guess. Was it a bit of a reach? Sure, and I would have absolutely taken a look at Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb. Look, I know the Falcons don't necessarily need more offensive talent. I know Calvin Ridley is still good, and Julio Jones is Julio Jones. But what else do they have? They don't have anyone else. Right now, Laquan Treadwell is probably their 3rd best wide receiver. Okay, so I would have took one of the wide receivers. I could not believe that these two commodities were falling. But then the madness finally came to an end at 17, as the Dallas Cowboys, and I will now switch that, as the Dallas Cowboys took Jeudy, CD Lamb at 17. He is now a Dallas Cowboy, much to the chagrin of Philadelphia Eagles fans, and Philadelphia Eagles fans should be very upset. You absolutely should have finessed the trade to trade up with the Atlanta Falcons to take CD Lamb before the Dallas Cowboys could do this to you. This is so exciting if you're a Dallas Cowboy fan. And look, the pressure is now all on Dak Prescott. If he can't at least get the Cowboys to the Super Bowl, it's all on him. To me, and I don't think he's going to go into this year playing under the franchise tag. I think they're going to come to that long-term extension. But I think now the Cowboys have leverage. I think they're only a quarterback away at this point. And I know that their defense has problems. I know that their secondary is not good. But Jesus, dude, if you can't hold on to the football with this offense, okay, you have Ezekiel Elliott and this offensive line. First of all, I can end the conversation there. But then, let's throw in Amari Cooper, and then let's throw in CeeDee Lamb, and then let's throw in Michael Gallup. And then a lot of people like Blake Jarwin. I'm still out on that camp, but fine. Let's say Blake Jarwin. There is no reason why that Cowboys should not be an offensive juggernaut, a top 5 offense. If they're not, it's all on Dak Prescott's shoulders. And they need to start having conversations to trade for Matthew Stafford. Those conversations will begin to me. In fact, I would already go ahead and consider calling Cam Newton or Jameis Winston to be a backup quarterback next season, just in case that trigger needs to be pulled. The Cowboys have way too much talent offensively. This is Super Bowl talent without a doubt, period. This is Kansas City Chiefs level talent because they have a better offensive line than the Chiefs. I think, okay, we have to see what CeeDee Lamb does in this league. Because you never know. He could end up being a bust. But if CeeDee Lamb is what I think he is, they could end up having just as good as a wide receiver core as the Chiefs. Definitely not as good as a tight end position. The quarterback is the difference. Oh, but they have a better running back the Cowboys do too. That's a damn good offense. Dak Prescott needs to get them over the hump. We'll see if he can do that this upcoming season, and I think he will to a certain extent. I'm not saying they're going to win it, but I think a Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl appearance might be forthcoming. 18, the Miami Dolphins, they take Andrew Jackson, the offensive tackle out of USC. Good protection for Tua Tagovailoa, so we love to see that. 19, the Oakland Raiders, they take cornerback Damon Arnette. And again, who? Okay, I was doing some cornerback preparation because I was expecting the Tennessee Titans to take a cornerback tonight. And we're going to get into that momentarily. You can believe that. They just listed the cornerbacks. They just put it on list. They're there, and then they just threw darts. They just threw darts. And they just said, okay, let's take this guy. That's what they did. What other explanation can you find? Who is this guy? Now, he was playing opposite of Jeffrey Okudah on a very talented Ohio State defense. Maybe he was overshadowed. But I just don't see it. I just don't get it. Mike Mayock, what are you doing, my friend? Him and John Gruden are just creating nonsense in Las Vegas. And I say Las Vegas, I say Oakland, I say Oakland, I say Las Vegas. Trust me, it's going to take some time to get used to. Okay, then we move on to 20, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They take outside linebacker Kalavin Chason out of LSU, and this is actually a really good pick for them, assuming that Yannick Ngakoue is going to be traded, and that's pretty much a good assumption at this point. The only problem is for the Jaguars, we don't know where they're headed. They don't have a plan. Do they want to win games? Look, I think the Jaguars are actually underrating Gardner Minshew. I like Gardner Minshew. I think he did very well. In fact, look, I love Kyler Murray. Gardner Minshew was the best rookie quarterback last year. Point blank, period. 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, dealing with being in and out of the lineup. Gardner Minshew was the best rookie quarterback last season, but everyone's ready to take for Trevor Lawrence. Why? What's the plan? So if I'm other teams, I'm calling for Gardner Minshew. If you really don't want to, we could take him. I would love to have Gardner Minshew backing up Ryan Tannehill. I don't know what the Jaguars are doing, but in the meantime, this is a good pick for them. But they've had a lot of good picks over the past 5 years, and it doesn't matter because they leave, they get traded. This one got traded. Yannick Ngakoue got traded. Ramsey got traded. This is what's going on in Jacksonville. It's ridiculous. All right, 21. Philadelphia Eagles, they take wide receiver Jalen Reagor out of TCU. Now, I'm going to, again, be more in-depth when it comes to my evaluation of these players, but a lot of people wanted Justin Jefferson here. I think Justin Jefferson is a little overrated. I think Reagor definitely does provide more upside. The Eagles could have used someone more ready to go, and Jefferson is that, but I think Reagor has better potential, so don't be a complete hater of this pick now. I'm going to be more in-depth in that later. And then 22, the Minnesota Vikings, they take Justin Jefferson, and I have my Justin Jefferson concerns, people. I really do. We're going to get into those. I think he's decent. I just don't know how good he actually is. Okay, so 23, the LA Chargers. So the Chargers traded back up out of nowhere from the 37th pick all the way up to the 23rd pick to select linebacker Kenneth Murray out of Oklahoma. This is going to be a great addition to their defense, and their defense should really, need to take some shape this season, really take more ownership this season. They just signed Chris Harris Jr. in free agency. They're going to get Joey Bosa back for a healthy year. Get he and Melvin Gordon back and healthy. Derwin James, 16 games. This Chargers team needs to become more defensive, and this is going to allow them to do that as they mature into Justin Herbert and as they win games with Tyrod Taylor. Because Tyrod Taylor can win games in this league. He can get you to the playoffs. Now, I don't know if I'll have the Chargers in the playoffs, but I have them as a 7, 8, 9 win team. And this is a pick that's only going to help them get there. Okay, so 24, the New Orleans Saints, they take Cesar Ruiz out of Michigan, adding to that offensive line. Now, last year they took, Eric McCoy. So they just keep stacking up these offensive linemen, and some people are, a little surprised by this. I am too, to a certain extent, but this is their system, and it works, right? There's a reason why they've been the best offense in the league or at least close to it for the past 4 years. They did invest in the offensive line, invest. It works, okay? Ryan Ramczyk is great. It didn't work out with Andres Pete. McCoy, we'll see, and now we'll see about Cesar Ruiz. This is their move. Just let them do their move, and we'll see if they can win one more with Drew Brees. 25, we have the San Francisco 49ers. They take Brandon Aiyuk out of Arizona State. I don't get it. Okay, I just don't get why. And Aiyuk might be good. I'll look at his tape. But I don't know why you would take him at 25 and not Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb at 14. What's the difference? Why? Okay, he better be better. First of all, he better be better. If either one of those two players are better, that's an L to me. Or Javon Kinlaw better be damn good at 14 too. So there's still a way for them to win this for me, but just based on the surface, I don't like it. And then right now, I'm ending this. So if you want to ask me a question in the chat, ask them right now, because I will answer questions for about 5 to 10 minutes. So go ahead and at me in the chat, at SportsFan Entertainment, for my question and answer session. Okay, moving on to 26. This was one of the worst picks of the draft. Potentially. But not even potentially. I think it's one of the worst picks of the draft. And let me explain why. As the Green Bay Packers select quarterback Jordan Love out of Utah State. So let me be clear now, because there's a chance, maybe even a good chance, that you will come back to this video 10 years from now when Jordan Love is a franchise quarterback in this league. Jordan Love is a great quarterback in this league, and you're going to say, look at MJ the Clown. MJ said that this was a horrible pick when the Green Bay Packers took Jordan Love. Here's the problem, okay? Aaron Rodgers is 36 years old. Look, I understand that's old. Is he really slowing down? I mean, a little bit. But, dude, he's still a top 5 quarterback in this league. You don't think Aaron Rodgers, who has been banged up a little bit, okay? He broke his collarbone here, had a hamstring there. But you don't think Aaron Rodgers, who sat for 3 years on the bench to start his career. This is not the case for Drew Brees. This is not the case for Phillip Rivers. This is not the case for Tom Brady. Brady sat for 1. Brees, I think, sat for half, if that. Rivers sat for 1. That's about it. You don't think that Aaron Rodgers, who we've seen play without a leg. I mean, we have seen Aaron Rodgers play without a leg. With 1 leg, we've seen Aaron Rodgers play and put up top 10 quarterback play on 1 leg. We've seen this from Aaron Rodgers. You don't think he has 3 years left, 4 years left, 5 years left? I bet. And this guy's not walking away from the game. Oh, this is going to be a Tom Brady 2.0 situation. You're going to have to drag him from the game. I think this is going to be a completely wasted pick here. This is Jimmy Garoppolo 2.0. But this was the first round. Okay, the Patriots wasted a pick on Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, luckily, they were able to trade him, I want to say for a second-round pick, so they got their pick back. But Jordan Love might be a bust. I mean, this could be a Deshaun Kaiser situation. And what you need right now for the Green Bay Packers, the only goal for the Green Bay Packers, the only plan that they should have said this. And this is such a shame. And now I'm realizing Aaron Rodgers is not going to win the next Super Bowl that he deserved. Okay, that he honestly deserved. Aaron Rodgers deserved to win another Super Bowl in his career, and he's not going to win it because the Green Bay Packers did not prepare him to win it. What you need to do right now for the Green Bay Packers is go all in. We got 3-4 more years of Aaron Rodgers. Let's go all in. We need to use every first-round pick we can. We need to trade up in the first round if we can. We need to trade picks for veterans if we can. Because let me tell you right now, this 3-4 year window with Aaron Rodgers is a better window you're going to have for 10 years after him. I guarantee you that right now. I guarantee you right now, the 3 to 4 years that the Green Bay Packers are going to have with Aaron Rodgers are going to be a better and more likely championship window than the decade after him. Guaranteed. This is your window. You got to attack it. You got to go out. You got to go at it. You can't be unabashed about it. You can't be unapologetic. You have to go all out saying we are going to supply Aaron Rodgers with talent and get him that one more Super Bowl. This man had 2 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowls, 4 Super Bowls written all over him. And you gave him Eddie Lacy, and you gave him Randall Cobb, and you gave him these clowns, these baboons, these tomfoolery nonsense. This is their fault. This was a perfect opportunity to give Aaron Rodgers Denzel Mims, to give Aaron Rodgers T. Higgins, to give Aaron Rodgers another weapon that he could use to his arsenal. No, let's put Jordan Love on the bench. Aaron Rodgers ain't going to teach Jordan Love a damn thing. Aaron Rodgers don't give a damn about no Jordan Love. Aaron Rodgers cocky as hell. Aaron Rodgers going to give him that Brett Favre treatment. Show up. Oh, he's in the quarterback room? Cool. Ignoring that guy. He's not going to tutor this guy. Aaron Rodgers, look, I love Aaron Rodgers. He's a horrible tutor. He's not that nice of a guy. That's just who he is. This doesn't make sense. Unless if Jordan Love ends up being this franchise quarterback, which he could, okay? But I thought the Packers still had a window to win one with Aaron Rodgers, and maybe he's just able to really drag them to one. I just don't see it. I think this was a mistake. I thought they should have used their resources to accumulate as much talent for Aaron Rodgers as possible. This pick, they probably couldn't have traded for Stephon Diggs, but they should have been in the DeAndre Hopkins discussions, and that was only a second-round pick. They should have been in the Jalen Ramsey discussions when those were being had. They don't care. They don't want to see Aaron Rodgers win. It's a shame because the window that they have now is going to be better than the window that they have for the decade after. Really quick, let me adjust my AC. I'm getting a little hot, and then I'll be right back at it. All right, there we go. So, continuing on, 27. What was the 27th pick again? So, 27, we had the Seattle Seahawks. They took outside linebacker Jordan Brooks out of Texas Tech. Not really much to think about here. It's a Seattle Seahawks taking this random person that was a little lower in the board than everyone else had. This is what they do every year. 28, the Baltimore Ravens. They take inside linebacker Patrick Queen out of LSU. Great pick for them, honestly. I thought they might have gone edge rusher, but they go inside linebacker, and Patrick Queen is versatile, very smart, so I like the pick for them. So here we go, 29. So the Tennessee Titans, they take offensive tackle Isaiah Wilson out of Georgia. Okay, so here we go on this pick. So I did not watch any Isaiah Wilson tape until tonight, and I did it right after the Titans took Isaiah Wilson. Let's start with my evaluation of the player. Okay, let's just start with that. He's huge. Okay, he's 6'7", 350. The guy is huge, fantastic. He had 26 bench press reps, one of the stronger ones at the NFL Combine. That's fantastic. He's also pretty damn slow, as I think he was the only player that had over 8 seconds in, I want to say, either the 3-cone or what's the other little shuttle that they do? He had like over 8 seconds in one and over 5 seconds in the other. He was the only player that did that. Let me pull it up right now. His combine profile real quick. So he's huge, he's strong, and he ain't that athletic. Different than Jack Conklin. Jack Conklin wasn't that athletic, but he was more of like the slender, but still strong, but like a little bit more finesse type. This guy's just a big beast. Okay, this guy's just a big beast. That's his move. That's his deal. And by the way, so he got over 8 seconds in the 3-cone drill and over 5 seconds in the 20-yard shuttle. Okay, only player to go over both 8 and 5. Okay, so he's huge, but he's slow. When I looked at the tape, okay, so when he's close to the line, or at least when he has good positioning, let me just say that, when he has good positioning against whoever he's lined up against, he can flatten some people. He's very strong against the run. In terms of pass protection, as long as he has his feet under him, he's very strong there. I was actually impressed with what I saw from Isaiah Wilson. Now, I have concerns about how this will translate at the next level because he will run into some speedy, finesse, outside linebacking 3-4 guys that are going to eat him for breakfast. If you see him 6'7", dude, that guy's tall. He doesn't have a great bend to him. Ooh, Von Miller, ooh, he's going to slide under him and give him hell. They're going to have to teach him real quick how to get his feet under him, how to get leverage, and how to protect his big self against these smooth, slick, outside linebackers and edge rushers in this league. But I'm intrigued. I think this guy is going to be an absolute mauler for Derrick Henry. You're going to see him leading the way, and it's going to be intimidating. However, the logic of this team is lost on me. How? Do you decide 4 years ago, let's take Jack Conklin at number 8, okay? And at the time, I didn't like it. But the guy came in and was an all-pro for you year 1, okay? And has been pretty good since. Now, he had his one down year, was injured at the end of 1 year, came back. The next year wasn't great. And then caught stride, and then this year, little slow to start out, and then ended up maybe being our best offensive lineman this year. Okay, maybe next to Roger Saffold when it was all said and done. You say no. No more Jack Conklin. We're done. I know we traded up for him. I know we spent a 3rd round pick or maybe a 2nd round pick to trade up for him. It's fine. No more Jack Conklin for us. We're good on Jack Conklin. Okay. So then you re-sign Dennis Kelly for half the price of Jack Conklin. Okay, you're getting half the price for not half the player, more than half the player. Maybe 80, 85, maybe even 90% of Jack Conklin you're getting for half the price. Hey, I'm into that. I like that. Okay, I get it. Let's save some money for Ryan Tannehill. Let's save some money for Derrick Henry and maybe some other potential pieces as well. All that made sense. It's gone today. Is you paid Dennis Kelly $7 million a year to be a backup again? Okay, now you lost me. Now you lost me. Especially when you then go cut Jurrell Casey because, oh no, he's going to make $10 million. We can't have Jurrell Casey making $10 million, but we can have Dennis Kelly making $7 without a doubt. Now you've lost me, bruh. Now you've lost me. You lost me now. There was no plan. We were just going with the flow. Let's see what happens. Hey, this guy is here. Hey, we like him. Let's take him. Now, this guy could end up being a great right tackle for us. I don't know if he's ever going to be a great pass blocking right tackle, but he could end up being a dominant run blocking tackle for us, and I actually really see that in him. But for us to decide, yes, Dennis Kelly to be a backup tackle again, and he's probably going to start the year, probably. But I highly doubt he'd finish, and I highly doubt he'd start next year. So he's going to be a $7 million backup eventually, okay? We can all agree on that. For us to say, we would rather have Dennis Kelly at $7 million to be a backup than Jurrell Casey, $10 million to be a starter is ridiculous, okay? And I'm talking about in terms of cap savings. I know that Jurrell Casey's cap number was 13. Doesn't matter. You only saved $10 million by cutting him. That is the only thing that's worth considering. For them to say we would rather have Dennis Kelly for 7 than Jurrell Casey for 10 is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. None. Jurrell Casey, way more valuable at $10 million than Dennis Kelly at 7 to be another backup swing tackle. Now, if Taylor Lewan gets injured, if Isaiah Wilson gets injured, Dennis Kelly comes in, then that $7 million looks a hell of a lot more valuable. Doesn't make sense, okay? The other thing that does not make sense to me. So you're sitting here, And there is going to always be a third wave. Okay, so there's the initial wave of cornerbacks and outside linebackers. And then there's another wave. Maybe only 2 waves now that I think about it. I was thinking it was 3. Maybe 3 for quarterbacks and only 2 for pass rushers, actually. So 2 waves for pass rushers in this draft, okay? Wave 1, including Chase Young, and you probably wouldn't put Isaiah Simmons in that conversation, but fine. And then Kalavin, Chason would probably be tier 2. Then maybe tier 3 after that. And then tier 3 was going to include AJ Pensa, Yetur Matus Gross, and Zach Bond and some others, okay? You had your pick of the litter. You could have had Zach Bond, you could have had Yetur Gross Matos, you could have had, or Matos Gross, or you could have had AJ Pensa. Pick of the litter. Cornerbacks, you could have had Jeff Gladney. You could have had Christian Fulton. You could have had my boy out of Alabama. What's his name again? Trevon Diggs. Pick of the litter. So many cornerbacks to choose from. Any of them that you want. We were hoping one of them would be there. We were hoping, hey, I'd be happy with Christian Fulton or Jeff Gladney. I'd be happy. You could pick either one. Oh, I'd be happy with your two Gross Matos or Zach Bond. They were both there. You had your pick of the litter of guys we expected to be there, and they didn't take any of them. They took Isaiah Wilson. And then, is Isaiah Wilson even the best offensive tackle on the board? Now, I haven't done enough research to say whether or not Josh Jones is better or Ezra Cleveland's better. I've heard that they are. I'll do my own research on that. I'll let y'all know in a couple of days. Don't love it. But I also came on here and I didn't love the Jack Conklin thing, and I didn't love some other picks as well. Didn't love Adoree Jackson, and those worked out. Well, Jack Conklin, I guess, worked out. I don't know, because he's no longer here, so I'll leave that up to you to decide. It just doesn't make sense to me. The overall plan doesn't make sense to me. Look, if we would have went the route of saying, okay, no Jack Conklin, no Dennis Kelly, we keep Logan Ryan for that $7 million. You give him that $7 million and then $3 million more. Probably have to give him $10 million a year. Fine. And then you draft the offensive tackle round 1. I'll say, okay, that was the plan. The plan was we're taking a right tackle round 1 to replace Jack Conklin, and we drafted round 1. That's a plan. If the plan would have been, let's re-sign Jack Conklin, let go of Dennis Kelly, and then select a cornerback or outside linebacker in the draft. Okay, that's a plan. If the plan was, okay, let's let go of Jack Conklin, let's re-sign Dennis Kelly for half price, and then in the draft, let's take the best cornerback or outside linebacker available, okay, that's a plan. But for the plan to be, let's let go of Conklin, re-sign Kelly, and let's go ahead and draft a tackle too in the first round, okay, yeah, he didn't have a plan. That's no plan. That's not a plan. It's not a plan. There's no plan. What kind of plan is that? And then now we're sitting here, we're missing a cornerback out there in a defense where we play a lot of nickel. We have 5 defensive backs out there often. And I would have been okay with even Xavier McKinney at safety. Because at least, hey, this a talented football player can go out there, can play a lot. I don't know if Isaiah Wilson's going to play. And if he does play, then Dennis Kelly isn't. And we spent $7 million on that for nothing. In a year where we really need to be good with the cap, we weren't good with the cap. That's frustrating. So that's my thoughts on that. So continuing here, 30, we had the Dolphins taking cornerback. Oh, God, here we go. Noah Igbenogene. Okay, I think I actually got that right, out of Auburn. And, hey, they needed a cornerback, and they got one here to team with Xavier Howard. 31, the Minnesota Vikings, they take cornerback Jeff Gladney. And let me tell you, we're going to look at this guy, and we're going to be very upset in a couple years. I'm predicting. I'm calling it right now. And then 32, the Chiefs, they take running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of LSU. A lot of people were surprised by this pick. Why did they not take DeAndre Swift? Why did they not take Jonathan Taylor? Well, this is a perfect pick for them, right? He's going to fit perfectly in their system. He's going to end up being an 800, 900, maybe even 1,000-plus yard rusher in their system. A little Maurice Jones-Drew light in their system, and that's what they want. That's all they need. They don't need much for Patrick Mahomes, dog. They just need things that complement Patrick Mahomes, and that's what Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to do. So with that said, let's move to the chat. I'm going to answer some questions. And again, tomorrow I'll probably have plans, so I probably won't recap day 2, but I'll probably be live for something. I don't know what yet exactly, Maybe I'll provide some film analysis on the quarterbacks or something. I'll do something tomorrow. Just wait and see tomorrow. I don't have a plan yet, but I'll probably be left tomorrow for something. I don't think I'm just going to straight up recap day 2, though. I don't think anything particularly fascinating is left, to be honest with you. I don't think any of these prospects are, from speaking from a casual point of view, are really that fascinating or interesting. Okay, so moving back a little bit. So Donde Scrubs asked a little bit ago, at Sports Fan Entertainment, should we trade Rodgers at this point? No. Because although I think you guys have still butchered this Rodgers situation, he could still sneak a Super Bowl out of you. And if he does, then, I mean, that solidifies him as top 5 quarterback of all time to me. If he sneaks another somehow sneaks another Super Bowl out of this Packers team, that's a top 5 quarterback all time to me, point blank, period. And we can have discussions on that. He'd be rivaling top 4, in my opinion. Maybe even top 3, but that's another discussion for another day. George Metza said, as Sports Fan Entertainment, do you think Tua will follow Haskins' footsteps and only be good in college because of the talent around him? Alabama, best offensive line, wide receivers, and running backs? No. Because there's a difference between, and that's why I have my concern for Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow helped his receivers make plays. He put the ball in great positions for Thaddeus Moss to make a great play, for Justin Jefferson to make a great play, for Jamar Chase to make a good play, as opposed to Tua Tagovailoa would make great plays for them. Like, you would see Tua making fantastic throws. The velocity at times that he could put on the football to allow his receivers a chance to make a great play, there was a huge difference there. If you look at the big plays that were made for both of their teams, Tua is the one that I think is actually going to do much better, because Haskins, if you ever watch Haskins' tape, he had Paris Campbell at the time. He would just dump off to Paris Campbell 5 yards. Paris Campbell would run for 80 yards, touchdown. Dump to Paris Campbell again, 10-yard comeback. He's going to make a move, 80-yard touchdown. As opposed to Tua getting his receivers the best opportunities to make plays by leading them. And that's why I think Tua is going to be good to go, as long as he's healthy. Okay, Atlanta Fan 21 said, at Sports Fan Entertainment, even though you didn't study many prospects, who are your best remaining prospects in the draft? I mean, at this point, like AJ Pensa, Yatur Matuz Gross. I keep saying Gross, Matuz Gross. One of them. You guys know who I'm talking about, out of Penn State. T. Higgins at this point. And some others. Jalen Hurts. I think someone should take a flyer on Jalen Hurts. Probably going to be round 3 for that. Okay, just a couple more, and then we'll get out of here. Leroy Davidson says, who do you think we're taking in round 2? Well, you got to go corner, and you got to go edge rusher. I mean, it has to be. I mean, at this point, come on. I mean, I know we're a little unpredictable here with John Robinson, but look, if you don't take Look, I was going to be okay with the idea of taking a wide receiver in round 1 because they were so talented, but at this point, no. Give me a cornerback, give me an edge rusher, period, in rounds 2 and 3. All around highlights at Sports Fan Entertainment. What do you expect from the Giants this year? Well, to be honest with you, I expect them to stink because that's their move. I have no idea what to expect. Seriously. Because I have no idea what to expect from Joe Judge. But I know the Giants are consistently one of the worst teams in the league. And until we get enough evidence that they won't be, that's why I have them being. Because there's been too much stinkage from the Giants lately. Okay, Joe Flores said at Sports Fan Entertainment, either trade up in round 2 and get a first-round talent, edge/corner, or just re-sign Logan Ryan and get an edge at our 29th second-round corner. Which would you do? Well, at this point, man, I mean, and don't forget about Jadeveon Clowney. Like, I think a lot of it depends on Jadeveon Clowney, and I think we're really in on Jadeveon Clowney. But if you ask me either the option to trade up in round 2 and get that first-round talent edge or corner, or just re-sign Logan Ryan and sit at late in the second round, I mean, I would rather just re-sign Logan Ryan. But, yeah, I would rather re-sign Logan Ryan if you give me those 2 options. All right, another question from George Mesa, who says, as Sports Fan Entertainment, do you think Devontae Smith would have gone in the first round if he declared? Yeah, sure, why not? And then last one from Sanjin QC. At this point, I'll be surprised if we don't sign Clowney Monday. It makes too much sense that we're waiting for the compensatory pick. And I absolutely do agree with that. I absolutely do agree. I think that was a large part of why the Titans took so long to sign Jadeveon Clowney. That way they could avoid the compensatory pick having to offset Mariota getting paid, Jack Conklin getting paid. Now they can sign County, still get those compensatory picks, and they'll be good to go. So I do expect that to happen, but we'll see. Fingers crossed on that. So there you go. That has been my first round recap of the 2020 NFL Draft. Thank you all for joining me. Again, I'll be back tomorrow to stream something. I don't know what yet. I don't think it's going to be a day 2 and 3 recap, but it might be. And then Saturday, we'll probably begin that new SFE team profile series, and I'm guaranteeing you it will be quite lit. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.